back to the Urban Action Showcase and Expo virtual experience. I'm your host, founder, and executive producer, Demetrius Angelo. And as promised, I am with world champion Willie the Bam Johnson. We just finished watching the Bam Bio-Pic, and now we have the man himself to give us a little insight about what made. First of all, welcome, sir. How are you today?
Oh, I'm blessed, sir. I'm always on it when I'm around you, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what made you want to share your personal life experience with the world?
Uh, well, I mean, many people heard that story of me getting incarcerated 37 years ago. And at that moment in time when I got in trouble because of the choices I made, in 1989, it was April 1989, I had two choices at that moment. One was to commit suicide and hang myself with a sheet, real talk. And the other one was a voice came over me and said, "No, you got to go out and you got to change the world and you got to tell this story." And I dropped down on my hands and knees, and I still have the piece of paper to this day where I wrote on a piece of paper that, God, if you give me another chance today, April 1989, I will never abandon you if I can use martial arts to empower the next generation. And since that moment, every day I woke up in jail, I wrote on jailhouse newspapers, toilet paper, whatever. And that is the accumulation of everything that I write is things that I transcended to become and put on pad and pen when I was incarcerated.
So basically, you wrote out your destiny. Literally, you wrote out your destiny, the plan for your success. You wrote it out, jot by jot, line by line, precept by precept. Then you walked it out.
That's what I did, sir. I didn't know what I was doing, but I know the hell I was in. The best, I didn't know what to do, but I knew what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's the story, man. That's how I came to manifest what it is, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when did you open up your first school?
My first school in the documentary when I was like 17 years old. I had a homemade dojo in the projects, Lafayette Projects in Baltimore City. My sister's old bedroom, I turned into a dojo. It's pictures of that in the documentary. I had Bruce Lee posters from the ceiling all the way down to the floor. That was the time of Five Fingers of Death, man. So I had the little the sand that I was burning in the room to try to do the Five Fingers of Death thing. Hey, man, I was a Bruce Lee Kung Fu movie fanatic during that time, teaching everything from the movies, man. We all been through that, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. So give us a little history with how you got started in the martial arts and some of the teachers that you had.
Okay. Well, of course, everybody know that story. 6 years old, got a chance. It's in a documentary. Got a chance to go and see Bruce Lee's Chinese Connection. My mom would never let me leave, because back then that's when the community took care of us. We always show respect to everyone, and my mom would never let me go with no one. But this one particular day, man, I seen all those commercials, like when you sitting there watching the TV show, so you see Chinese Connection commercial, Five Fingers of Death commercial on TV back then. So you just inspired. I mean, it's one time, man, my mom let me go see Chinese Connection, man. I was never the same. I didn't see Bruce Lee on that screen. I seen Willie the Bam Johnson on that screen. And once I came out that movie theater, I started breaking every broom and getting every piece of electrical black tape. I mean, that electrical tape, in the nunchucks, man. And we all was, wow, I was on it, man. I was teaching myself martial arts, emulating what I seen in the movie theaters, flipping off the pissy mattresses, jumping over the roofs. You know what it was, man. That was the joy of growing up. We were in this fantasy martial arts world. But for me, it was something different, man. It was taking me away from the things that I was going through at home. So as I continue to walk in search of teachers, from stealing the books and stealing the magazines, I ran into some community centers and I got a chance to work with some people. I would go to, during that time, a lot of martial arts schools were in the city, in the cities. So you could go into a dojo and sit down and I can pick up what they were teaching while I was watching them in class. And then I would come back home and I would practice it. And after some time, all the kids, I was teaching them in my homemade dojo, and they reached out to a community center, which is in the documentary called McKim's Community Center. And they said, man, you should start a class at McKim's. So I went over to McKim's, and the guy told me, he said, get out of here. You're too young. You ain't no martial arts instructor. You have no credentials. So get out of here. And there was a guy by the name of Kenneth Parker. And Kenneth Parker came to us and seen us on the back of the building flipping. And he said, hey, guys, come on, I'm going to do something with you. He was my first instructor. He taught me Kang Kwan. He also taught me yoga. So around like 11 years old, we were burning yoga pots and doing all that stuff, man. And he just took all our creativity with the gymnastics, with my movie writing, my TV, because I was writing movies and, doing homemade stuff back then. And he was just supporting me. And that just led me to competing in like the Junior Olympics. And then as I started competing in the Junior Olympics and winning with the gymnastics, I started seeing the magazines and I started seeing people I wanted to train with. And one of the people I wanted to train with, his name was Oso Tayari Cassell and Dennis Brown. They were two of the most famous Kung Fu men at that time. So I remember the actual story of how that even happened. I picked up a local magazine and it had Dennis Brown Shaolin Wushu Academy in it. And it had his telephone number. So I called him. Nervous little kid, hoping that I don't know if he's going to answer. So guess who picks up the phone? Dennis Brown. And I just pulled out to him. I said, hey, sir, my name is Willie Bam Johnson. And, my name was, they called me Bam Bam back then. I said, I've been competing and winning at tournaments. And I was trying to get a teacher, but I have no money. But I do know how to do gymnastics. And his exact words, okay, little brother, I'm coming to a tournament in Baltimore. Show me what you got and we see what we can do. Came to that tournament. He told me to flip. I started flipping all up the walls, flipping. I mean, come on, man. That stuff that you see with tricking now, that's nothing back in the city, man. We was doing all that, double back flips and everything. And once he seen that, he just told me to try to get to DC. And the rest is history, man. I started training with him, started training with Oso Tayari Cassell. They took me to mainland China, and I just started training with so many other people as a compliment to what Master Brown was doing. But Master Brown allowed me to express who I was, and he complimented all the things that I was naturally good at doing. So the gymnastics, the fighting, everything, that's how it all got started. So I got other people on my resume that I trained with and worked with, but the people that really helped me become the person I am, have to say my mom first, my dad second, Master Kenneth Parker, Master Brown, and Oso Tayari Cassell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So once you started training with them, when did your big break come for WMAC Masters?
WMAC Masters. Well, you got to remember also WMAC Masters, that whole concept, my character was already that 6-year-old kid's dream. I know it sounds crazy. I already knew what I wanted to do. I always wanted to be a Shaolin monk, like the 5 masters of Shaolin with T. Long, David Chan, all those guys, man. I know you know what I'm talking about, man. I always wanted play that type of character. So I had this vision. One day I'm gonna play in a movie like that. And after competing, after coming home from incarceration, because before I got locked up, I was already going to China. I was already a world champion. And it was like, man, how can I took everything I had for granted. And one thing that Oso Cassell, and I'm leading the WMAC Masters, but I got to tell this story. Also told, he used to always tell me, you need to read your resume. You done accomplished all these things, but you don't appreciate nothing. And I didn't get where I used to think he hated me. I didn't think he really liked me. And when I got locked up, the one person's voice that came to me, that saying where it says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, it was Oso Cassell. His voice, his message came to me. And at that moment in time, what happened? It allowed me to go ahead and get myself together and, you know, just make that commitment to say, okay, man, when I come home, I'm going to get all this stuff back. And when I came home, I became number one. I was number one in Chinese forms and weapons. I mean, I was winning everything. And before you know it, they ended up at the Battle of Atlanta. They was in search of talent for this new TV show. And Richie Brandon, my God bless his soul, one of my toughest competitors, but yet my brother, man, that always looked out for me. He said, Bam, they're doing a TV audition here at the battle, so I want you to come in. And I went in there, and they had 50 of the top martial artists in that room. So when we got picked, I mean, Kevin Thompson, it was so many people that was supposed to be a part of this show. So after I signed the contract and they asked me what my character was going to be, it was everything that y'all seen. The bam, the ponytail. That was all what I wanted to display. So out of 50 people, man, I didn't think I was going to be on that show. Honestly, you're talking 50 of the best martial artists on the planet. But what happened? God blessed me and gave me that opportunity, man. And the rest was history right there, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Then how did you get your son into it?
Well, because, you know, everybody know what during that time when I came home from, it goes back to the story. When I came home from jail, my commitment was to make sure my son never followed the same path. So when I came home, I was a single dad. Wherever I went, my son was with me. Like you see, wherever I go down, all my kids with me. Back then, wherever I went, Marco was with me. So Marco had to practice. Marco had to train, you know, and we would happen to be doing for Karate Up Kick Diabetes, we had did this father and son weapons routine. And after doing it, I sent it to Carlin West, and she was like, oh, my God, this is incredible. Can we put this on the show? I'm like, for real? She said, yeah, let's put this on the show. And that's how it happened, man. It was just a demo that we did, and she just, like, fell in love with it. And that's how he got on the show, and the rest was history, man.
Nice, nice, nice. So let's talk about your commitment to the next generation, your commitment to the youth. Obviously, you've been teaching for a long time. You've got a lot of projects. You put your kids in the projects, but you're doing a lot for the youth. A couple of the things that you have going on that people can actually be a part of. I believe 1 out of 100 is one of those things. So let's talk about some of the things that you're doing to empower the next generation that the people listening can actually go help and support.
Okay. Well, of course, we just finished the movie. Once again, thank my brother, Robert Parham. I mean, I love that man. I mean, the brother, you know, he put together a documentary, and then we just completed a movie in 3 days. 1 out of 100 coming out real soon in post-production. But 1 out of 100, once again, represents my journey. A guy told me when I was locked up, he said, only one of y'all gonna make it. And still to this day, hopefully, I think it's me. So during the pandemic, we wanted to show that every kid that was throwing a kick or a punch represented that 1 out of 100 concept and that mindset. And that's what the movie's about. It's about 2 kids who left in charge of a dojo and got to put that, you know, stand up and take responsibility. So that movie stars my kids. And one of the things, and it also stars me and a couple of other people that are actually winners of the call to action. So every time we say we're going to put you in a movie, if you support the call to action, you will get in a movie. You feel me, Master Demetrius? We are men of our words, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, yeah, one of the goals behind the movie, other than it blowing people's mind and empowering people with the musical soundtrack, the fashion and everything, one of the things our mission is to give away 1 million scholarships. So if anybody goes to Point MMA and purchase one scholarship, which is a Point MMA Kids Point MMA 37 skill kit, we will give 1 kit away to another kid. Our mission is to give away 1 million scholarships to kids in all the communities around the world. And it's the same style that's being demonstrated in the movie. And everybody know what Point MMA is. That's what I got on the cover of Black Belt magazine for. But we refined it and made some adjustments with Billy Blanks and Colin West and Warren Hutland and my daughter. So it's for kids, by kids, and it's a way to give our kids something that can help them fall in love with martial arts and learn the disciplines and the focus. Just like martial arts was taught to me from a movie, you can't say it can't be done through virtual platforms. So if anybody go and buy one of those kits, we'll give one away. Once again, we want to give away 1 million. But if you go even next week by Black Friday, it'll be $14.99 for a kit. And if you buy one kit, we still going to give a kit away.
Okay, so this is Point MMA right here. All right. So yeah. Where do they click? Right here now, presenting 1 out of 100, or what should they click?
Come down. You should see a bar on the right-hand side.
Okay. Well, we got check out. We got, let's see, confidence and self-esteem, discipline and self-control, self-defense, community. We've got welcome to the kids, Point MMA, 37 skills. We got that. Warrior mindset coaching, kids, Point MMA, 37 skills, and then crazy athletics.
Push the kids, Point MMA, 37 skills. It should be online teaching.
Okay. Okay. So y'all heard that. Here it is right here. All right. Point MMA 37 skills right there. That's what you guys click. All right. So I'm putting this in the chat. That way people can access it and go support these efforts.
And the beautiful thing about it, you know, my kids, that's my son, two of my sons, and my baby girl is killing it in Hollywood right now in the background, Naila.
That's right. She's a stunt performer now. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah. And can I say something, man?
Yes, sir.
That's the beautiful thing about what we do. You know, I mean, my daughter, even what we have been doing back then with Kung Fu hip hop all the way up to now, she's been a very important part of it. When she was a little teeny baby, just like her brother, she was working, doing the magazine, doing the mixtapes, doing the movies. And now, once again, by planting that seed, look at what it did for all of them, man. So I'm just trying to be consistent and give back the love to my kids, and not just my kids, but every youth around the world deserves the opportunity to learn how to express themselves in a positive way.
Absolutely. What I also love it that you have the fitness element as well, and that you're always focused on the next generation, the future. And if you've never experienced it in person, when's the next time that they can experience this in person if they're in the area?
Alan Goldberg's Action Martial Arts Showcase.
All right. I believe that's January 28th or sometime around that time.
29th. Yeah, the 29th and the 30th.
Okay.
And we're doing a special event there at Master Goldberg's, which is called Kids Action Martial Arts Choice Awards. And this year we want to honor every child around the world as being a hero. Because during this pandemic, every child has shown resilience to be able to keep pushing forward, doing a kick, running behind their homes, doing push-ups, doing whatever they can do to stay active, while every other sport quit and stopped because they didn't know what to do. Martial arts students were still practicing on Zoom and finding a way and not being on hold. So what we need to do this ain't no participation award. Anybody that want to support or know a kid that should be nominated for this hero award, they should, and that's on that website too. It's called Comica. The Comica Hero Awards. They can go in there. We doing a book, the first ever book called a Heroes Book, highlighting all the children, and we also doing awards banquet at Alan Goldberg's event, where it's just going to be nothing but kid-friendly, celebrating and letting these kids know that, oh, guess what? We didn't forget you, and we want you to know that we remember the resilience that you showed during this COVID-19 times.
All right, so let me share this again, because there's a little secret compartment on this site that breaks everything out for you to see. Let me share it real quick for y'all. I just discovered it myself. All right, y'all see how I did it over here? It's these 3 lines. You click it, you see it, you get this drop down menu with everything that he talked about. You see call to action. Okay, you've got everything in here, so you can definitely find exactly what he's talking about right here. And I'm glad I just looked at this. I want to talk about warrior's mindset. Warrior's mindset. Let's talk about that, because you talk about that a lot. So how important is the mindset to success?
Well, and before I go in it, I want to give that credit back to Champ Nichols, Damon John, speaking manager, one of my mentors, still my mentor every day. You know, talk to me, guide me, and advise me. But a long time ago, we were talking about going on a tour. Me, you know, Damon John, and a couple of people, and he was like, "Man, you know, we got to figure out how do we put your life story under one umbrella?" And that's where the warrior mindset came up. And he said, "Nah, man, you're a warrior. To get through what you went through, that's a warrior mindset. You had to be focused to overcome all those things." And I sat back and I thought about it. That's right. That's what it took. A warrior is someone that's striving to be balanced, mind, body, and spirit. You know, we practice physically, and we push ourselves physically so our minds can be strong. And then in return, we want to have a humble spirit, a vibration of peace, harmony, and happiness. And a warrior going to do what? It's not about beating people up and destroying people. It's about having that conscious awareness of a higher purpose. And our whole purpose is when we're strong with inside ourselves, we can overcome anything. And not saying that in the battle of the fight or trying to overcome that obstacle, that is not going to be hard, and it's not going to take some time where, man, I got to take this loss and this setback. But taking this loss and setback and learning from it, I can come back stronger. And what did I do when I talked about the story? You know, I got locked up. You know, I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to end it all. The documentary talk about every negative thing that happened to me. But at the same time, God don't make garbage. God makes greatness. And I had to dig down inside myself and recognize the tools that God had gave me. And the one thing that I always say and I tell people is that martial arts never abandoned me. And martial arts allowed me to refine that warrior spirit. So what I want to do is make sure we can help every child understand, man, that focused mind, on positive energy and good energy, even in the midst of chaos, even in the midst of adversity. If you hold on, you can make it to the other side, and this too shall pass. That's what we do as we get older as warriors. We learn to take a breather, let it go. I learned a lot of that from you, man. You know, you're one of the humblest guys I done met, man. I mean, it be stuff going on. You're like, huh? It's all right, Master Bam. It's okay. I remember the first time we would talk about something, and I got all loud. I'm like, no, Master Demetrius, hold on. You said calm down, Master Bam, calm down. And you helped me as a brother and as a mentor to learn to move as a peaceful warrior. And when I'm peaceful, I can focus better and make better decisions, because anger don't win nothing. Only peace, love, and happiness. And that's what warriors do. They come back and rebuild what they destroyed. Right? Am I correct, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's going to take us right into what started today and what we got going on tomorrow. Call to action. That's one of the initiatives that we started, sir, at this point it's 8 years ago, and trying to help the next generation use their skills of the martial arts in the entertainment business, and take these attributes and actually apply it to anything. So the schedule according to here, so tomorrow 10:30 to 11, it says you got Art Camacho, and he's going to do a masterclass with for filmmaking. And then 11 to 11:30, Keith Streinsberg. Talk to us about, well, Art Marshall, we know he's director of a lot of big movies back in the day, or well, still today, but very much known for the ones with Steven Seagal back in the day. But Keith Steinberg, let's talk about what he's behind. A lot of people might know the name, they might not know the name.
Yeah, well, of course, he's the guy that gave Jean-Claude Van Damme his big break, and No Retreat, No Surrender, one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's best displays of talent, jumping on that the ring, doing that full split. He gave Cindy a great opportunity when she came back to America in No Retreat, No Surrender Part 2. He was one of the main guys that's kind of like, was doing all these B-level films with seasonal films, and he was making them right here on the East Coast, man. He did the Storm King with Michael D. Pasquale and all those guys. He gave everybody an opportunity to work back then when seasonal films was working here in the States, putting on all these different types of films. But the biggest one is No Retreat, No Surrender. Oh, don't forget King of Kickboxers with Billy Blanks. He gave Billy a great opportunity to display his talent, in that particular film. And Blood Moon, he gave Chuck Jeffries an opportunity to launch a little bit more. Everybody was doing work, but some of his films gave everybody a chance to really do some good kung fu at a different level, because he was bringing in Hong Kong stunt people and Hong Kong choreographers that was fighting. That was teaching everybody how to improve their fighting skills on screen. And me and Chuck Jeffries did the one movie called Super Fighter, because he also did that one too. So he got a lot of great films under his belt that really represented that era of great filmmaking back then. So if you get a chance to check him out, go ahead and check him out. But he's a great guy, humble guy. When I first got started in the films, he was one of the guys that gave me an opportunity and was always there for me as well. And still to this day, he's still there. So he's going to be teaching you the basis of what it took for him to do what he was doing back then. And we all talk about how can we get that sort of like real martial art films back into the entertainment industry to this day, even if they on a B level or any level, but on a consistent level. So we all been trying to talk together and figure out what we can do to teach and prepare to possibly try to bring life back to that genre, man.
Yes, sir. And then 11:30, we've got Bruce Fontaine. Tell us a little bit more about him.
Well, he's Bobby Samuels knows him. Bruce, an incredible wushu guy. I seen him coming up when I was competing. He's of the era when China first opened. There was only a small select group of people that went over there and learned real wushu, and the training was hard. He was one of them guys that was there. I remember when I was coming up, when me and Master Browness was there, but he went on and he ended up doing a lot of films in Hong Kong. He done worked on a lot of Jackie Chan films, Armor Guard. He done did some film. It's just it's so many. And plus he was in Ninja Turtles. Yeah, that's right. He played in all the Ninja Turtles as well. I forgot all about when he told me that. So he didn't. The man is an incredible talent. Bobby knows him, straight Hong Kong type film guy. A great success to work with everybody in Hong Kong. Even Donnie Yen, he done work with Donnie, everybody. And now he's doing his own he's doing his own movies. He did a movie not too long ago, I think, and about 3 years ago, he got it on Netflix. So he's doing some real big things right now. And we hooked up through the Warrior Mindset radio show, my radio show. And since then, we started collaborating, figuring out what can we do to work together to, once again, whatever happened to the martial art movies that have the philosophy and have the real martial arts. No flying, no stunts, no tricks. Let's do real martial art fight scenes. It could be the Sonny Chief and rip out an Adam's apple, but there was a reason behind it. Or it could be the Shaw Brothers. It could be, can we get the martial art movies back with the philosophies and the life skills? I think we can. I think a lot of people is rooting for that. What's your take on that, sir?
Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're empowering the next generation of storytellers and giving people the tools, right? They need to build their own table. See, everybody want to see at somebody else's table, but the person who builds his own table will always have a seat. and we're teaching people to build their own table. So, you know, for everybody listening, this is going to be next year is going to be, you know, it's going to be our 10th anniversary, but it's going to be our 9th year doing call to action. And every year we're bringing you the pioneers of talent that make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that he's mentioned, even if you want to go back to the people he casually mentioned, Chuck Jeffries, you guys know he did the Blade series. He was the stunt coordinator, fight choreographer for Blade. So it's like, you know, he you know, these are his, you know, his brothers, dojo brothers, but you got to pay attention to the names. And it's important that this generation realize the root to the fruit, because the fruit doesn't bear of itself. It's the seed that goes down, right? And gets rooted that bears the fruit. So you guys got to really recognize the seed, the root to which you are standing on today. And if you don't, if you try to remove the fruit from the root, then you're going to lose your identity.
Right.
You see? So it's important that you, if you really, really want to be prolific and you really want to be successful in what you do, you got to learn your history. You got to give honor and respect to those who have laid the foundation and the path that you walk, because these people today, Isaac Florentine, all these great people who make these great martial arts films today are the people shoulders that we're standing on.
Right.
You know,
and one thing that's really and that's special, and I think even with our relationship, the respect and the recognition that we give one another and the support. It's funny, Isaac supposed to have been teaching, and because he, you know, he had something else, he called me late last night, and he's like, "Man, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Isaac, why are you calling me? You ain't gotta." He's like, "No, you're my friend. We as martial art brothers, we do show up and we make those amends, or we apologize, do what we need to do in person or by phone." And then Jerry Trimbone today, I was trying to get Jerry Trimbone. I mean, everybody got to know. I mean, my man there, bro. And he was like, "Nah, man, I can't come, but man, just put my love out there." That means a lot to me, man. And I think if the next generation can understand, relationships is what takes you a long way. If you can't show respect, and if you can't hold those giants up whose shoulders you stand on, as you get more and more successful, the ranks start closing up. And if you ain't got no character and no respect, you can forget working. I don't care how much talent you got. At the end of the day, it goes back to character. And that stands out everywhere. And that's what relationships is based upon. Treating people with respect. And that's the foundation of martial arts. I mean, would you agree, sir?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Robert Parham just came in the chat. Shout out to him, because he's been using the power of movie making to tell many stories that need to be told, that have not been told, as well as to tell his stories. But that's what I can appreciate. And as you know, he's a world champion kickboxer as well. And I'm really, really, I should say, for lack of a better word, very proud to be a part of the martial arts community, even if it's the few and not the many, who are still rooted in those foundations of honor, respect, integrity. You know what I'm saying? And it shows, and it's a tight-knit circle. But you know what? Those people are making a difference in people's lives today. And you know, if they stop sponsoring us tomorrow, you know what? We're gonna keep the light on somehow. It might be a night light. Come on, somebody. It might not be a spotlight. But if you're looking for a light, it might just be a night light. But if you're really looking for a path, there's going to be a light on. You know what I'm saying? If it's not Urban Action Showcase, it's definitely going to be Point MMA. It's definitely going to be Robert Parham in one of his films. It's going to be Bobby Samuels in one of his films. So we got enough people, you know what I'm saying, that are plugged in together. So if one bulb go out, that's okay. We got a replacement. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that the community and everyone that's listening realizes that you must invest in yourself if you want to see your dreams realized in mainstream media or on the screen. You know what I'm saying? Because anything that's not nurtured will die.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about the grass is greener on the other side, but everyone knows that the grass is green wherever you water it, wherever you nurture it, wherever you take care of it. That is where you're going to find success. So we're asking that you go to the website that's in the chat for Point MMA, look up all the things that he's doing to help the community, or find someone else to support. Robert Samuels, Robert Parham. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to continue to support one another, and we're going to believe God and believe God that he's going to continue to bless and to continue to give us the strength to do what we're doing, because I believe none of us are doing it for fame or for selfishness or anything like that. We're doing it for a purpose. Like one of the grandmasters like to say, he says not because but for a cause. Grandmaster Tony Watts, he always says not for a cause, not because but for a cause. In other words, this is for a reason that we're doing these things, and that reason is greater than our selfishness and ourselves. Because believe it or not, as parents, we are already famous.
Yeah, that's right.
Ain't nobody more famous than mommy and dad. You got your own fan club calling you for all kinds of stuff. So it ain't like, you know what I'm saying, we need somebody to call our name. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I want you guys to look forward to is the WMAC Masters 3D VR experience coming soon, which is a tribute in the VR 3D gamification realm to that great series that has launched so many careers behind the scenes. And I'm talking about not of these people, but of those who follow them and those who they've taught along the ways, and the fact that it was a catalyst for many of the shows that you see today on television when it comes to reality or and so forth. You know, so sir, I'm grateful. I want to say thank you for all the work you're doing for the community and what you've done for the martial arts.
And I want to say something, because you need, once again, everybody need to tip their hat to you, brother, because you, since I met you the first day, you know, you've been, you know, trucking along, man. You're like one of the hardest working people that's out there, believing in this purpose and what you're representing. You always keep a higher power first and foremost. And even these relationships and the people that I'm working with, man, and the names you mentioned, those things came by way of you, by the urban action. I mean, you know, we all knew of each other, but you gave us a house to connect with one another. And that's what's so important. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the support of our elders. You know, like I said, I let people know a lot of day ones came through. Fred the Hammer Williamson, Ron Van Cleef the Black Dragon, Tarmac the Last Dragon, Michael Jai White, Kelly Hugh. A lot of day ones came through because of their word, each other's person's word, and saying, you know what, I'm supporting this. And they said, okay, well, I'm supporting it if you support it. So, sir, I know you got to go. You know, you're busy, but I really appreciate you. I want everybody to go out and click the link for Point MMA. Find out, you know, all the things that he's talking about. Kids' Choice Awards, 1 out of 100. And this ain't the last conversation. We're going to keep having conversations. So we'll pick this up again, and perhaps we'll get you and Robert and some other people on here. In fact, all the kids. All right. Well, we lost your volume.
No, I mean, I had put you on mute because I was pulling off, but give me 1 second before you pass out. Let somebody say hi. Here go one of the kids right here, guys. Say hi, Messiah.
Hello, everybody.
That's the actor right there, y'all. he just finished doing a play, and he's in 1 out of 100 as well. So you guys are going to be seeing him real soon. That's the man behind the scenes. He wear all the hats. He the tech man. He the DP. You know what I'm saying? He the actor. He doing it all. All right. Well, we appreciate y'all. We thank you guys for joining us this evening. Coming up next, around 10 o'clock, we got some music for you in the Cove. And then at 12 a.m. midnight, we got the Midnight Mayhem Martial Arts Action Cinema. And we're screening actually one of Isaac's films, Ninja 2, Shadow of a Tear with Scott Adkins. So you guys check that out. We'll put it in the chat as well. In fact, it's on the page. So you guys just look in the thread, Midnight Mayhem, 12 a.m. You'll see it. Until then, everybody stay safe. We appreciate you all. And until then, peace.
Bye, everybody.